One more question before we go. This is a pastoral question and a difficult question, and I'm grateful for the family that sent it in. And it's for Ravi. Reads like this. We lost our 23-year-old daughter in an accident 12 weeks ago. She was a believer, though not walking with the Lord at this time. I believe she is in heaven. How can I know for sure that, one, heaven is real, and that, two, that my little girl is there?
Wow. I've heard it said by anybody who has gone through an experience like that, be it a child in the 20s or younger or even older for that matter, that losing a child is the most painful thing you can ever go through. I've heard people say you almost expect that when you're married, your spouse, one of you may lose the other, but when you bring a child into this world, you don't expect to lose that child. My daughter and son-in-law have just laid a new driveway in their home, and they have 4 children. And my wife Margie said, "Oh, I wish they'd taken their little hands and put an imprint right in the front. It'd be so cute." And next day we went, and they had, but they didn't have 4 little hands, they had 5. They had drawn a tiny little one because my daughter lost one baby along the way while she was just about 8 to 10 weeks along in the pregnancy. When a mother can feel the loss of a baby that she's never held in her arms or seen, it's very hard to fully fathom the bondage, the bonding that is there between a parent and child, especially the mother and child. So to the family that's lost your 23-year-old, my heartfelt condolences to you. May God be your comfort. Let me give you 2 or 3 layers of an answer because I don't want to dismissively answer your question. I have known this, that whatever the grief, number one, God is big enough to carry you through. There is no suffering that you go through that our Heavenly Father did not himself endure for us. He sent his own Son, who he put on the cross, and knows exactly how you feel when you're talking about the loss of a child. He understands the grief. I marvel at the fact that Jesus wept at Lazarus' tomb, even though he knew he was going to raise him from the dead. That's the amazing juxtaposing of power and passion at one moment. He knew we as human beings would feel the loss through death, even though he knew he was going to raise this young man. So I say to you, God understands your tears. Annie Johnston Flint, who was born Annie Johnston and was orphaned early, was raised by the Flint family. She suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, from cancer, from blindness, and incontinence. She had 8 pillows cushioning her body the last time an eyewitness saw her, head to toe covered with sores, with diapers most of her adult life. She wrote, "He giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He sendeth more strength when the labors increase. To added affliction he addeth his mercy. To multiplied trials has multiplied peace. When we have exhausted our store of endurance, when our strength has failed ere the day is half done, when we reach the end of our hoarded resources, our Father's full giving has only begun. His love has no limit, his grace has no measure, his power has no boundaries known unto men, for out of his infinite riches in Jesus he giveth and giveth and giveth again." He will carry you through. 2 weeks ago, I was with Kirk Cameron in Washington, D.C., and a woman by the name of Jennifer Rothschild spoke, and my heart just cringed for a moment when she said what she did. She turned blind when she was 15. She's now in her late 40s. She said, "I wake up every morning realizing I live in the dark. I live in darkness." When she said that, it was like somebody hit me in the heart, Imagine living in that darkness for nearly 30 years of your life. And then she made this comment, "I have consoled myself realizing this world is temporary, heaven is eternal, and I will see when I am in his presence like I have never seen before, and the eternity will overpower the temporariness of the loss here." So I say to you, ma'am and sir, in the loss of your daughter, The Bible assures us that the judge of all the earth shall do that which is right. And I have heard medical people may judge differently here, but the last sense that is often lost, even with an unconscious person, sometimes the hearing may still be there. We don't know what senses are still alert when you're literally hanging between temporary time and eternity. It is distinctly possible that as you raise that child, she cried out to the Lord, and if she did cry out to the Lord, he will never leave that cry unanswered. We know he is a gracious God, and we know he knows how you feel. We know he will endure your loss with you, and he will carry you through. You can completely trust him for doing that which is right and that which is merciful, and rest in the consciousness that you know the Heavenly Father who never makes a mistake and will do that which is right to carry you through.
Thank you, Ravi. Appreciate that.